Hello everybody, my name is ImperfectGoat, and today I'll be showing you guys my blueprint into playing Brig for all you veteran players, the new players, just anybody that wants to learn how to play Brig. I will show you my personal tips and tricks and some terminology that might help you out in the long run of knowing how to play Brig. So let's start by going over some terminology. Her rocket flail, which is her primary weapon, is a melee extended range weapon. It damages multiple enemies at once, and it would actually trigger her passive ability, which actually heals your team. And this passive ability is called Inspire, which is triggered by any of Brig's, primary abilities of melee, which includes her rocket flail, which I mentioned, and her whip shot, and her shield bash, which I'll be going over pretty soon. Not only will this heal your team, but it also will heal you a great deal. Another thing about Brigitte's healing is she's got an ability called Repair Packs that goes hand in hand with her Inspire. Throwing a Repair Pack at your teammates gives them a boost of 25 health, and an additional 100 health over the span of 2 seconds. These packs will only work with allies about 30 meters away from you, and she's got 3 of them. When using a repair pack, it gives you about a 5-second cooldown, so keep that in mind. Don't use multiple repair packs on one ally though. Doing so does not give them any more health, it just increases the amount of time, the duration, that you actually have to cause the Inspire to be inspiring longer. Another melee option that she does have is called her whip shot. It is a longer range attack that she does that launches her flail forward. This will not only deal damage to your enemies, but also knock them back a little bit. Brigitte also does have a defense item, an ability called a barrier shield, which is a personalized forward-facing energy barrier shield, kind of like Reinhardt's. It does mitigate some damage, it's just on a smaller scale to Reinhardt's. It's got about 250 health, so it's not completely as strong as his, it's just the same concept. Another interesting thing about Barrier Shield though is that when it is deployed and in use, Brig can use it to actually dash forward and cause a small amount of damage to enemies and knock them back slightly. The ability is called a shield bash, if that's not obvious, but it is not totally used as a way to stun enemies, only to just knock them back temporarily. Riley can increase her movement speed and provide your nearby teammates with some heals, including a temporary extra health known as overhealth to your teammates and you as well. Now that you know some of the basics, I'm going to be personally going over some tips and tricks that you can use to understand her kit better, but also understand how to engage into fights, how to stun people from their ults, and how to protect your team better and defend them, which is what Brig was basically made for. The first tip I'm going to give you is using your barrier shield more effectively. The best way to do so is to not let it break. It seems kind of obvious, but in the long run, it is very important to not take all of the damage straight to your shield because it will break very quickly. It's more important to take some aggro to your actual health bar along with your barrier shield to keep it up and to support your team as much as you can using so. Another amazing tip I can give you about her barrier shield is to use it to disengage from a fight versus using it to engage into a fight and pushing in too far. I wouldn't use it as your primary source of damage. It can put you in a tricky situation where you become very vulnerable and with no escape. So using it to disengage and leave a fight is way more important than pushing in, using it as a huge brawling, damage inducing kind of attack when it can break super easily, leaving you vulnerable with no escape. So use it for disengaging versus engaging. And because it has a long cooldown, you should use it as a mobility tool versus actually using it as a source of damage. It does damage, but only slightly, and it's more important to disengage from fights than engaging and leaving yourself in a tricky situation. And as much as that is very important and true, don't always follow that rule. her rally can actually stun enemies from using their abilities and their ultimates. Some of these characters are like Moira, Reaper, Mei. Stopping their abilities and their amazing ults can really be a game changer. Rally doesn't always have to be to brawl or to only stun people out of their ult. It does do a huge amount of healing to your team, causing your tank to be alive longer and for them to be able to brawl, and can keep your tank and your team alive when everybody is on a low amount of health and you're at the final push and there's a lot of pressure. It's very important to keep your tank and your team alive, so using her rally can be used for that and can give a ton of healing and constant continuous healing for a longer period of time. Another cool thing about her rally though is that, including getting a bigger shield, you gotta keep in mind that when you do use her rally, some ultimates can completely shatter it, so don't use it to mitigate people's ults like Orissa's and Diva's and Freya's. All of their ults can completely diminish her shield, but don't use it to completely mitigate their damage, because their shield will just break, causing you to be vulnerable and have no escape basically. So don't be using it against every single ult, just know which ults is worth keeping your shield up for. Her barrier shield not only blocks you, but also blocks the rest of your team during ults, and can actually be a huge game changer when it comes to Diva's ult and Orissa's ult. It can block your supports, your tank, everybody behind you. It will completely diminish your shield, but keep them alive. It's very important to look down as much as you can when using it during those tricky pressuring situations, because if even her feet are hanging out, it will completely shatter and give you no protection and probably instant you instead. A lot of new baby Brig players out there do wonder and confused by why veteran Brig players constantly swing her mace, her rocket flail, why she's constantly doing it. And it's very important to know that her Inspire is caused by any melee attack, any melee damage, and to continuously heal while she has a repair pack on somebody and using her Inspire, it's very important to keep swinging that mace as long as you can to keep your team up and heal them as much as you can during the duration that they have the repair pack, which looks dumb, but is really cool in practice, I think. I also like to use repair packs when there's a tank that's about to dive, DPS is about to dive, there's a huge ult coming up, anytime there's pressure, anytime there's any of this, it's a great time to throw your repair pack on people who are about to take a huge amount of damage. In doing so, not only will the rocket flail constantly keep them healed, but that instant burst of 25 to 100 continuous health also can keep them alive for that little bit longer that they need to be able to make it out of that situation. For repair packs though, as previously discussed, don't give double the health if you throw more than one on a teammate at a time. Only throwing one for the duration of 5 seconds is all you need to do to keep the repair pack on them. Throwing more than one doesn't do anything more than what one repair pack does. It just increases the duration and resets that timer back to 5. One of my favorite things about Brigitte is not only is her barrier shield perfect for protecting her, but also her supports. Now this is my favorite thing because you can protect Ana, Zen, and my favorite, Mercy, during her reses. Her res can honestly be a huge game changer, especially during a pressuring situation, overtime, the last few seconds that you have. Getting those revives up is very important, and you can actually keep Mercy alive while she's doing it. Also, during the fights, to keep your snipers alive, you can keep Widow and Genji and Ashe and Freya. You can keep all these snipers alive, keeping it so there is damage coming into the enemies and that they're safe from instant damage like Sombras and Genjis and Tracers. You can fall back and heal them, and you can actually kill them, keeping your sniping DPS alive. Now, something tricky about her positioning is that she should be more of an anchor than playing front, middle, or back line. She should be in the middle, but flexible to be able to push forward and to heal the tank when needed, but also be able to push back when needed to support your support, or to heal, or to stop flankers, or all this type of stuff. You can throw enemies back with your whip shot in the front. You can also protect your supports and sniping DPS behind by using her shield. And it's very important to not play front too much or play back too much. Being a good middle can help you fall forward, help you fall back. Don't fall too forward though, because when your tank does die, it does leave you vulnerable, and trying to get out of the situation can end up being very tricky. Playing middle to front line also can probably make you feel like you're able to brawl and be able to push in, get a ton of damage in, like you're a mini tank. But in every case, that's not completely true, because you feel safe behind your barrier shield, but she's very easily killed and she's very squishy. So despite her ability to get in there and attack DPS and healers and some of the tanks like D.Va, it is better to play as a backline defender and as a middle healer than it is to be a frontline tank defender. Now this is true, but as the game progresses, it is very important to know that if you believe 110% that it is safe to brawl, remember, she does have people who can counter her. There's Pharah, there's Ramattra, there's Sigma. People have shields, she can't whip shot past them to be able to heal. And Pharah, I mean, she's in the sky, what are you gonna do as a melee character? So there's also people like Reinhardt, who is like a 50-50 if you're actually able to 1v1 him. So judge that as the situations come. But it's very important to not let your shield break when doing so. So when Reinhardt does use his charge ability, you can shield bash as he tries to pin, causing you guys both to be stunned, but leaving you vulnerable, so keep that in mind as well. I hope I was able to help all you new Brig players and give some tricks to the old veteran Brig players and help you guys understand her kit more, her terminology, because she is a very good character. It's just people don't understand how her kit works and expect her to be able to brawl when that's not what she was created for. Don't forget though, she's not a completely intuitive character. You can have fun with it, but make sure you judge situations as they come accordingly. There is no shortcuts, just honest work, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, friends!